from Babylist. I'm the mama of one with number 2 on the way, and I'm here to share some pregnancy tips with you today. Let's talk pregnancy screenings. They are not as exciting as I'm making them sound right now. So between 16 and 20 weeks, gear up for a battery of tests. But first, let's have a short vocabulary lesson. First, what's the difference between a screening test and a diagnostic test? A screening test tells you the chances that your baby has a disorder, but a diagnostic test tells you whether or not they actually have it, like diagnosis. Typically, screening tests are based on blood samples from the mom or ultrasounds of the baby, whereas a diagnostic test will require extracting cells from the placenta or from the fetus, like in an amniocentesis or CVS, a chorionic villus sampling. Most pregnant moms are only offered screens during their pregnancy unless they're already high risk and the doctor recommends going straight to diagnostic tests. So what screens are you in store for right now? First off, the quad screen. This measures the quantity of 4 different substances in your blood. In California, I think this is commonly called the California screen, or a combination between this and others is called the California screen. And your particular locality may also have a different name for it. But it's a blood sample that helps measure your risk for neural tube defects, Down syndrome, or other genetic conditions. Secondly, you may be offered a genetic carrier screen. Turns out genes are crazy, and you can be a carrier of a disease that you don't have. These screens are often based on the ethnicity of you and your partner. Lastly, and most exciting, is the level 2 full body anatomy scan, AKA the sex ultrasound. It's part of your second trimester screens, and it's also a great excuse to look at your baby. The scan will take 30 to 45 minutes if the baby's in a good position, and even longer if it takes them a while to do somersaults to get in the right spot. The tech will do a complete scan of their body, from the brain and spine to the face, abdomen, and limbs, and even all 4 chambers of the heart. They're measuring to make sure that the baby's growing at the right pace for their gestational age, and they'll also look at the mom's uterus and placenta and measure the amniotic fluid to make sure that everything else in the environment is doing well too. At this ultrasound, you can learn baby's sex if you want, and if you're trying to keep it a secret, tell the tech, or they might start slipping into he and she when you don't actually want to know. So I'm 18 weeks pregnant right now, and we didn't find out sex with my first baby, but we're gonna find out with this baby, and I'm really excited. These tests throw me for a loop, even though I've now had all of them almost twice, but I feel a lot more confident when I'm informed. Also, these screening tests, it's hard because they're not totally accurate. They cast a really wide net, and a positive result doesn't mean your baby has something, and a negative result doesn't mean they necessarily don't have it. It just means they're at a higher or lower risk of having it than the general population. Oftentimes, if you get a positive result, it'll just mean you go on to diagnostic screenings, not that that's like the end of some discussion. Also, you don't have to have these screens. They are optional. Some families opt out, and others want to know everything so that they can be as prepared as possible. But there's no right or wrong answer. Thanks so much for tuning in. At Babylist, we're all about making parenting more fun and less overwhelming, and we're thrilled that millions of families have allowed us to join them on this exciting journey. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and I'll see you next time.